So, I apologize for it being a little darker than what it could be, but I'm missing a light. Um, so, keep going on with my analysis of the islands of the Alola region. I'm now on to the fourth island, which will be the island in the lower right-hand corner of the image, the island with the big snow-capped mountain. So, just looking at this mountain, let's start with the Bay Area. The Bay Area has many islets in it, and one of them even seems to have a small building on it. And I had to believe that there's going to be something going on in these islets. They might not be anything, maybe they will be, but it wouldn't be there for nothing. But it looks like an interesting surf area, and also I mentioned diving quite a bit because with this much water, how can we just only be on the surface? But there's different shades of blue used in this picture, so that indicates different depths. Maybe this will be another diving area, maybe it'll be the only one. Moving on from there, and I'll save the mountain for last. The island seemingly has 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 Pokemon centers, which, okay, that seems like a good amount for an island of this size. 2 of them are along that mountain, one at the bottom, one at the top, and at the base of that mountain there is a very interesting looking building. It's got 4 points to it. It seems to protrude upwards. Part of me wants to believe that maybe this is one of the outdoor Pokemon gyms, maybe it's a flying type gym, and you would of course take place on the battle on the top of the building where the bird Pokemon could fly around to their heart's content. Going around from there, there seems to be a building that's it's in a darker area. I have to almost wonder if it'll be a haunted house area where we could capture our ghost type Pokemon. Who knows, maybe it's a legit mansion. Then going from there, again, going counterclockwise, we come to an area where it looks like it's a small oasis, and it does seem to lead down to the ocean, but I don't think we'll be able to go into there because it's not stoned in. It looks like there's like some beat up houses there. It almost looks like an abandoned area, but this might be where we encounter our one and only desert area of the region. It almost looks like we have 2 different paths where we could climb up the mountainside and go through the desert area, or we could go through the canyon and desert looking area. There's some interesting looking buildings there. One is a building with a yellow roof, and then there's the green area that's on top of the mountain, or, well, the side of the mountain, I should say. And there's 3 white structures. I wonder if if this is the power plant, or if it serves some other purpose, because, I imagine each island would have a power plant, but this one in particular we're actually going to get to go to. Then the next area is very interesting. It almost looks like a resort area. We can see that this area has a very tall standing structure. Part of me wants to believe that it's simply a lighthouse, but there's small ponds around it with a lake, and then the buildings, and if I really look at it, the design of it almost comes off Japanese, and I have to wonder if this is a resort area, if this is like a battle frontier portion of the island, and maybe we'll be able to get to it later, because I imagine every island will be able to make multiple trips to, who knows. But it does look like it is the main port of the island, but still having a cultural area would be kind of nice. Now, continuing on counterclockwise, the island gets very misty in the forested area, and in fact it even looks like there's one of the outdoor stages in the middle of a lake. So I'm wondering if this will be a ghost type gym, a forest gym, like what it might be. Could it be our first dark type gym? Maybe. But the real interesting thing about this forest is that there is a small town that seems to be closed in. Like, what is up with this? Like, I almost had to wonder if we'll see our first prison or jail area in a Pokemon game. I really had to wonder, or if this is a military facility of some sort. Because, as I said, it's very interesting that this whole town is boxed in like that. Like, the walls are higher than any of the buildings. So, in my mind, there's not much else it could be other than there's a reason why it's confined. But there's a Pokemon Center in there, so we'll definitely be able to get in there, and it's a place we can fly to. Now, going back to the center port of the island, and keep in mind that fog could just be steam from the volcano, but then again, this isn't a volcanic island, it's ice-capped. which is very interesting. Now, this is the area that I perceive to be where we will fight the Elite Four. I say this because there's a very distinct Pokemon Center at the bottom of this mountain. And at the mountain summit, at the top of it, we see there's another Pokemon Center. And, you know, there's all this ice, but there does seem to be, amongst all that snow and ice, an ice castle. Now, to me, you know, in a very tropical region, going from where it's probably very, very hot, and you get accustomed to being very hot, your body is normally, you know, accumulated to the heat. That would make the Victory Road area being in ice, making it a more hazardous area because you're not really accustomed to the cold. Victory Road is usually the hardest area, so, you know, maybe I'm reading into it too much, but for the people of the Alola region, the ice would be a very harsh thing to deal with. You would never have to face hail, that weather condition, unless your Pokemon used it, and I can't imagine there will be many ice types except for maybe in this area, so that is why I believe that. I think with the Victory Road, you just go up a long staircase to get to the top of the mountain, or perhaps there's even an elevator of some sort, and Victory Road will be all ice-oriented, which, why not? In some ways, that's a little disappointing if that is true, because I would rather it be maybe lava, maybe it will be. Maybe we go underground at some point and we have to deal with a lava pit, and then we come back up to the ice, the hot and cold. You know, that would be a really challenging thing for a Pokemon trainer and his or her Pokemon to deal with. But I think this would be the most challenging area in all of the region because it is so climatically different. Climatically different than the rest of the region. But all in all, this island looks like it's got a lot going on. It has all kinds of different areas, and it looks like there's plenty for us to play in there. If you have anything you'd like to add about what you think of this island, and yes, I realize I did miss that blue building all the way to the north where there is a Pokemon Center, but I just can't think of anything that could be, because, again, it's just a random blue building. If you have any comments about what this island could be, if there's anything that you think I missed, please comment down below. You can follow me on Facebook and Twitter, and also tell me what you think of the video there, because they will be linked to those accounts as well.